Alright, hopefully I'm still in focus. Hi there, somebody you see back on another video. So here's the thing, here's what's been happening. This happened back in 2005, right? I was about 7 years. I was 7 years old actually, right? So when I grew up, my mom and dad owned a store, right? And a store, something in between your what's this, supermarket and the tuck shop, right? Something in the middle there, right? So what would happen usually when someone comes in maybe with a 200 to 100 rand or whatnot, we'd find that there is no change, right? So we'd be called when we're playing, busy with all things there, be called to come and go get change from the other spaza shops and whatnot. So this other day we are busy playing some tennis, no, not tennis, cricket, but with a tennis ball, right? With a tennis ball, right? So we use a plank and the tennis. So my brother was bowling and whatnot, so I was carrying the plank, right? So we're rushing, take the change, take the money and go get the change and then come back, continue with our play, right? On our way there, we find some guys playing football in the middle of the road, and they happen to take our tennis from my brother, right? So what I do, instead of just going, okay, let's leave the tennis because we know these guys, they're from around, let's just leave the tennis and go get the change and then take it when they come back. I just say, no man, if you don't return the tennis now because we're in a rush, I'm gonna hit you with this plank I have here, right? The guys thought I was joking. I'm not sure, I think I also thought I was joking, but the guys didn't take me seriously, and I hit a guy with a plank. I think he had a scar, not sure if it's still there by now, right? So I hit this guy, and then it happened that where we were going, actually it was this guy's home, right, where we were going to get the change. There is no way I'm going in there now having just hit the guy and just run back to the store, right? So when we're growing up, right, in the stores there is this burglar guards, and with a small head, when you're a child, you could easily just not open the whole thing, take the whole process of opening the burglar card and maybe looking for a key and whatnot, to just go in there inside those in between the bars, right? I go in and then try to rush back to the room at the back of the store, and my mom stops me and say, no, in this household that's not what you do. You have to go back there and finish the fight, right? Well, the fight now is getting commissioned by my mom, right? This is a bit weird. Okay, so I just go out of the thing. I'm not sure, maybe this would sound like I'm defending my actions. Back then it wasn't cool to hit a guy with a plank. It's not very cool. I'm not sure what I was thinking, but it's been, what was this, 14 years since then. So I'm totally different guy. I won't hit anyone with a plank, right? So the neighborhood kids now are in the store, right? There's this area where people buy and whatnot. It's an open area, right? The neighborhood kids are all full at the store. Maybe there were like 30 kids or more, right? Everyone saw what happened in the road, and when I was busy running to get into the store, all the kids were playing football. I think there's 3-4 of them that were playing football, were chasing me. So someone knew that something was happening, right? So we're standing there like this, right, facing each other, right? Happened at that time, around that age, I was a huge fan of Van Damme, right? Jean-Claude Van Damme. So what I did is I took my leg and took it back, right? We're facing each other like this. So swing my leg from the back and then hit the guy like this, right? So his head was caught somewhere in my knees, in my knee, and then had him pinned down. I'm not sure if I punched him out afterwards or had him in a lock or something like that, but that's how pretty much what happened during the fight. I won the fight, obviously. It was one of those guys, you see, those guys where as kids you never really had fights, so we didn't even go to the same school, so you'd hear stories that this guy is a great fighter and whatnot, but you find out when you fight with them, actually they're not that good, right? So what you might not know, maybe the cause, right? The other thing is, when you grow up, right, as kids, you asked, okay, are you scared of this guy? You say no, and this guy is asked, this guy is asked, are you scared of this guy? No. Okay, fight, right? If you're scared of him, there's gonna be sand that's gonna be put in the middle. Whoever hits it first, well, shows that he's not scared of the other guy, and also they know that you're not gonna allow sand to hit you. Even if you've not had an argument, you were going to fight. Some others were extreme, right? The older brothers, some others would even hit you with the stick if you don't fight. Even if you had an agreement prior, you had to fight, right? That's what happened. And that tradition was sort of more intense during when my mother was growing up and my uncles and whatnot. So that's why my mom didn't allow me to go in, because it seemed like I'm being a coward, and that thing, well, is not a virtue right, in my background or where I come from, right? Yeah, that's the story. That was one of the biggest, that was the biggest fights of my life. I think till now I've never had a fight that big and that significant, right? And I won it spectacularly, right? I'm not proud. I'm not proud of hitting a guy with a plank. That was a dumb move, right? Yeah, that's the whole story. Hitting a guy with a plank 14 years ago. Okay, that's been it. Stay out of fighting unless you are trained and whatnot. That's the story. See you in the next one. Peace.